A man with a big task in mind. Tony Mwai is leading IBM's thrust into East Africa, part of the company's expansion into the continent. For this, he has returned home to Kenya after 25 years in the United States, to work a stone's throw from the Nairobi church where he was baptized.
The tie to the motherland, if you will, the country of my birth, and this is where I grew up. But more importantly, or just as important, was the recognition that there's business happening here, that the skills and knowledge and experience that I have from the U.S. is valuable.
Skills to be used in the foray into the world's largest untapped emerging market, Africa. IBM wants to increase its revenue from emerging markets from 21% to 30% by 2015 by expanding into several major sectors, including the growing telecommunications market. The company is in these African countries and plans to move into many more to connect the continent to the world in fast-changing times.
The piece of IBM that we really want to bring to this marketplace is our consulting services, technology consulting and business consulting services. And then there's a market for it. There's definitely a market for it here.
Competition is likely to be keen for the African prize. The African IT market is expected to grow from $8.5 billion to $12.5 billion by 2015, in step with a growing middle class.
The prospects are huge. We've seen a lot of connectivity coming online, a lot of investment in infrastructure, both submarine and terrestrial, and going hand in hand in that, a lot of regulatory developments, new licenses issued, more converged licenses, operators actually teaming up.
IBM has teamed up in Africa with Bharti Airtel. The two cracked the Indian market by increasing Bharti's customer base from 6 million to 150 million. They hope to grow the African market from 43 million to 100 million by 2013.
IBM is clearly the global leader in IT and IT services. We really didn't have any hesitation choosing IBM. Going deep into the countryside, going deep into small towns, villages, rural areas, helping farmers, because networks in Africa are urban networks. They are not rural networks. So we are experts in rural. In India, we cover 400,000 plus villages. So we'll go deep into countryside. Only 25 to 30% of Africans are covered by, in terms of penetration, covered by mobile industry, which is very, very low, maybe lowest in the world. So our objective is to really support, catalyze Africa economy outside big cities, to really grow Africa, connect Africa to the world.
This is where the job will be done. This is Nyeri in the highlands around Mount Kenya, a few hours' drive from Nairobi. This is Muiga Post Office, a few miles from Mount Kenya and 1,000,000 miles from the rest of the world. 200 people a day come here to take advantage of this fragile link with the outside world. It's changed little since colonial days and loses money.
What happened is people stopped leaking stamps, and the revenue from stamp went down by 90%.
These volunteers from IBM's Corporate Services Corps program, a corporate version of the Peace Corps, want to see what they can do to help.
I think if you want to do the full scope, it's difficult. It's going to take many years and a lot of money, but you can make small steps. I'm thinking just get them connected with an email address. The head postmaster here doesn't even have an email address. So if you could just get that up and running so that she would be connected with the head office or even Nairobi office and be able to communicate a lot faster. They could send documents over the internet. They don't have to do it actually by mail, but they can do it faster using the internet.
For now, most of these documents will make their way by van, but the Kenyan government says it's open to ideas.
Just 2 years ago, we had only 3 million internet users in this country. The landing of the fiber optics and the terrestrial networks, we have 9 million users of internet. That is good. This is a market ready to take advantage on any investment.
This is Sandton near Johannesburg in South Africa, the site of one of IBM's major hubs. Many multinationals see South Africa with its robust infrastructure as a springboard into the continent.
IBM's expansion in Africa has really been driven by the nature of the market. Africa has been offering significant growth GDP growth, country growth, market growth, ahead of the rest of the world.
This is one of the fruits of that growth, a room of many tongues. This room deals with queries from thousands of miles away. A customer in Rotterdam or Brussels speaking to someone in Johannesburg.
We offer support for IT services in Dutch, German, French, Spanish.
Rebecca Munyuki, a Zimbabwean and another returnee to Africa, co-manages this operation. She says the key to the business is training your people.
You actually need to help them understand the client's culture. We had an experience where we had South African employees who were trained to speak Dutch. However, when they were communicating to the business clients on the phone in the Netherlands, they had to change the way they speak because they had to have a more direct way of speaking.
Insight that may hold the key to Africa. Tony Mwai, a returnee to Kenya, sees this as the place to be.
It's time for Africa, right? I mean, it really is Africa's time.
Confidence in an African future.